Hello, guys. Welcome back to ML Takes, a channel where we simplify complex data science and machine learning concepts for you. Today, I'm up with a very interesting and amazing use case that is music store analysis using SQL. Are you ready to explore the fascinating world of music stores analysis? Welcome to my video, and we will be definitely learning something valuable here and covering the business insights and for the music store business. Okay, so in this video, we will be writing live 11 SQL queries that will help you to analyze music stores. We will be using PG 4 and PostgreSQL, and we will discover different patterns and insights to find out the most popular genres or track sales performance and much more. Whether you love music, own a business, or even you are a data enthusiast who just want to explore the music industry, this video is perfect for you. We will explore real world scenarios and provide actionable insights that will boost the sales, improve customer satisfaction, and make your music store shine. And also, guess what? I have covered with you all the code, questions, dataset, and also the SQL file. You can easily follow along, learn the process, and definitely, before seeing the code, definitely give it a try so that you learn and grow. Uh, so, so first of all, let's start by understanding the business problem and understanding the project. Many a times, business the client demands the analysis so that they can improve their business. So this project aims to analyze the music store analysis by using the SQL and PostgreSQL in order to provide valuable insights to the clients and improve the business. So we will be using PG Admin 4. If you don't know what is PG Admin 4, I will provide the link in the description. You can surely download it. It's very easy. In order to run these SQL queries, we will be using PG Admin 4. We will be writing 10 plus SQL queries and investigate various aspects of the music store analysis. These queries focus on topics such as top selling music genres, sales performance by artist, average purchase amounts by customer, sales trends, and much more. So, by analyzing these aspects, the project seeks to offer actionable insights to the clients, enable them to make informed decisions, and enhance the overall success of the online music store. So let's start. We will be dividing these queries into easy, medium, and hard level. So first of all, let me show you the questions which will be answering through this analysis. Okay. So here are the easy set of questions, moderate and advanced. Okay. I will also provide the GitHub link in the description where you can download the dataset and SQL file and also these questions as well as the solution file for it. But before seeing the solution, you definitely give it a try. These are not very hard SQL queries. Definitely, advanced queries will require some prior knowledge, but starting from easy, it's quite easy and interesting to follow along. So make sure you do it. Okay. I'll also start my PG Admin 4 where I have already written the questions for it. Right. Okay. So if you don't know how to upload the data set, I will also provide that link in the description. It's very much easy. Just you have to click here, create a new data set, right? Create a new database and come in schemas. Okay. And then see the tables. And here you can just add your data set with the query tool, right? So, okay. So let's start by easy set of questions. Okay, guys, before starting with the queries, let's first understand the schema of the database. We have different tables with us: artist, album, track, media type, playlist, employee, customer, invoice type, genre. So what we need to do it in order to use in order to write different queries, we need to use all these tables by joining them. Okay, so we will be seeing it each and every question, so you don't need to worry. Okay. Let's first understand with the first question, which is of easy category, which says, who is the senior most employee based on job title? Okay, so who is the senior most employee based on job title? First of all, if you encounter any question, just come at this table and see where is the employee. So the employee information is the employee table. So first of all, we will see what's in employee table. Okay, so select all from employee. Okay, so what I will do, I'll just run it. And here I will be able to see all the observations of this employee table. So what I want is, who is the senior most employee based on job title. So is there any job title column in this? No, but definitely there are levels. So what we need is a senior most employee. So we know that the senior most employee will be the will be at the highest level. So that is, we get the L7. So can we get it? We can get it by ordering it by the levels, right? So what I will do is order by the levels in the descending order, and I want the top one. So what I will do is limit one. Okay. So by running this, let's see what I get. Yes, his name is Madan Mohan, right? So if I want only the name, I can also do here first name and last name. Okay. So what I will get is, by I will get Madan Mohan, right? Okay. Cool, guys. This is quite simple. Let's move on to the next question. Which countries have the most invoices? Okay, I'm talking about invoices. Okay. So let's come here to our schema. Where is invoice? Yes, here is invoice line. Here is invoice. So which country has the uh, most invoices? I have this invoice table, and I also have country. I think I will get something by total, but let's see. Don't assume anything. We will be writing everything from the invoice. Okay. Okay. So this is invoice ID, customer ID, invoice date. Okay. Uh, yes. So which countries have the most invoices? So for that, what I think, I need to look at this billing country column. Okay, so I will get the countries by this. Okay, so let's do it. Select billing country. Okay, what I will do is select billing country from this invoice table. Okay, and I need to get the most invoices, right? So I will sort it according to the count. Okay, so count of uh, all as C. Okay, from invoice, which I will be grouping by the billing country name. Okay, and then finally I will order it by the count, right? And I want only in the descending order. That is, I want the top, right? I don't need. I'll see the top three one. Okay, so let's run it and see what we get. Okay, so there is some error. Okay, so that was the error. Uh, okay, so what I got is USA, Canada, and Brazil have this count, and what we wanted is which countries have the most invoices. So we got them. So USA has the most invoices, that is 31. Canada has 76, and Brazil has 61. You can display also one, and also all, depending on what the requirement is. Okay. So now let's look at the next question, which is, what are top three values of total invoice? Okay, it's asking top three values of total invoice. I think we have already done it right now, right? But yes, I'll do it again. Select all from invoice. Okay, I'll just look at this column now. Yes, what it's asking is, what are the top three values of total invoice. So if this total column here, what are the top three values here? So there will be definitely, I will be sorting it, right? Order by the total, right, in the descending order, and I will be limiting it as 3, right? So let's see what happens. Yes, if I need only the top three values, so you can do this. It's okay. I can also do only the total. Okay, so that I can only get that specific column, and that is 23.75, 19.8, 19.8. Right. What one thing I observed is, it's not distinct. If you want distinct, you can surely add a distinct keyword here, right? So now let's move at the next question. Which country has the best customers? We would like to throw a promotional music festival in the city we made the most money. Write a query that returns one city that has the highest sum of invoice totals. Return both the city name and sum of all invoice totals. So we have the question that we have to return the city name and the sum of invoice totals, uh, we in which we made the most money. Okay, so it's talking about the highest sum of invoice totals. So we already have seen the invoice totals. Okay, so looking at the schema, invoice total, right? So we will be getting it from here. Which country, I mean, which city has the highest sum of the total? So let's see. First of all, let's see the invoice table. Okay, let's run it. Okay, so this is the what we want is we want to group it by the city, and we need to have the sum of the total to be the highest. Okay, we want the top city from which we have got the highest revenue. Okay, we have got the highest invoice from there. Okay, okay. So let's see. What I will do is I will select the billing city and a sum of the total column. Okay, I'll do it as maybe invoice total. Okay, then from the invoice column I want to take this all, and I want to group it by the billing city. Okay, and then what I need to do is in order to, I want the top, right? So I will sort it order by the invoice total, which we have taken the sum. We need to order it by the sum. Okay, we need to order it by the sum of total in the descending order, and we need to limit these as only one. Okay, guys, so let's run it. Okay, so I have a spelling mistake here. Yeah, so we have a Prague as 273.24, which is the highest invoice that has been generated from this city. Okay, so we have answered this question. So definitely the best customers are in the Prague city, which have generated the invoice as 273.24 dollars. Okay, so festival in the city we made the most money, so we can return it. Okay, right. Okay, guys. Now let's look. Let's have a look at the last question of the easy level. Who is the best customer? The customer who has spent the most money will be declared the best customer. Okay. Write a query that returns the person who has spent the most money. Okay. So we need to find the best customer. The customer who has spent the most money will be declared as best customer. We need to write a query that returns the person who has spent the most money. So definitely we need to have a look at the schema first. Okay. So we need to find the best customer, right? So customer details are in this table, customer table. So first of all, before seeing anything, let's see the customer table first. Select all from the customer table. So you can see that the details of the customers are here. What we need is we need to find the customer who has spent the most money. Okay, but we see that there is no for total or money, the column is not there in this table. So we definitely need to join table on some other table. Okay, okay, so again let's look at the schema. We have the invoice, right? We have the total here. So what we can do is customer id we can join on invoice.customer id, and then we can access the total spending of the customer, right? We need to find the customer who has spent the most money group by the customer. Okay, by the customer id. Okay, so what we will do is first of all, let's look at this select customer. Okay, what we will do is we will select the customer id and the first name of the customer and the last name of the customer. Okay, so once we have done that, we need to take it from the customer table, right? From customer. Okay, we need to join it with the invoice table on the customer ID, right? We have discussed earlier. Dot invoice dot customer ID. Okay. So once we have done that, we need to find the total sum, right? We need to take the sum of the total column, which is present in the invoice table. We will take it as the total spending by the customer. Okay. So, after joining the table on the customer ID, we will group it by the customer ID, right? Because that is a common thing which we have in both the tables. And then we need to get the highest, right? We need to find the best customer. So we'll order it by the customer ID. No, we will order it by the total spending which we have found, right? In the descending order, and limit is as one. We need to find only the best customer. Okay. So once I run this, what I get is okay. So we need to write a C. Okay. We get that R Madhav, that is his total spending is 144.54. He is the best customer we have got. And so we have answered this question. Who is the best customer? Yes, R Madhav is the best customer. The customer, he has spent the most money uh, with the invoice. Okay, so he has spent the most money, and we returned it, right? Okay, guys. So now we have completed the easy type of questions. So now let's have a look at the intermediate type of questions. The first question is, we need to write a query to return the email, first name, last name, and genre of all the rock music listeners. So we need to return the details of the customer who listen to rock type of music, right? This is simple. We need to return the list ordered alphabetically by email starting with A. So simply we need to sort it according to the email, right? So now first of all, let's look at the table schema. So what we have is we have the genre here. We have the name of the genre, which will have the types of music. Okay. We have the customer details here, but we don't have them in the common table. So we need to join them. Okay. So how would we join them? The customer ID is present in both these tables, so we can join it on them. That is, we can join it on customer ID. We can join these tables on I think invoice ID. Yes, invoice ID, and then we can join invoice line and track on track ID, and track on genre ID. Right? Okay, guys. So now let's start writing the query. So first of all, as we discussed by seeing the table schema, we will be seeing the customer column first. Let's see what is the content there. Select all from customer. Okay, so I have these details and I need to return the email, first name, last name from this. So once we have done it, as we have seen in the table schema, that we need to join the invoice column and customer column, then invoice and invoice line, and then invoice line and track and genre. So let's quickly write these four joins. So first of all, let me write the final output. That is, we need to select email and first name, okay, and last name, and then finally we need to write the name of the genre. Okay, we need to select it from customer. Okay, and then I will simply join the invoice on invoice dot customer ID. Okay, and then I will join the invoice line on invoice line dot invoice ID and invoice ID, right? Okay, and then finally I will join the track on the track ID, which will be equal to invoice line dot track ID. right? So we will be joining these both, and then finally we will be joining track and genre ID. So join genre on the genre ID is equal to track dot genre ID. And what I want is that the genre name should be rock, right? Because we are finding the rock music listeners only, right? So I'll write where genre name is equal to rock. Or I may also write is like rock, so that if there are any spell errors, it can make up with that. Okay. And then finally, I will be ordering it by the email in alphabetical order. So I don't need to write this. Okay. That will automatically work. And then if I run this, okay, so I've got here. Okay, so now it should work. Okay, so I don't have a. Okay, I'll try with alias. Like I'll do it as first name. Okay, and this as last name, and this as genre. Okay, so once I've done this, I will also select. Okay, I will run this and see what happens. Okay, I'm not getting the output. Uh, Let me see if I'm missing something. Okay, guys. So I have corrected my error. I will just run and show you. Uh, okay. The one thing which is missing is I need to only return the distinct one. Okay. So once I've done this, I think I should get the output. The genre name is rock. The last name and first name I'm getting, and I'm sorting it by the email type. Right. Okay. So we have completed the query. This was the first moderate type of question. Now let's go on to the next one. Okay, guys. So now let's move on to the next question. The question says that let's invite the artists who have written the most rock music in our dataset. Okay, so again, it is related to the genre table. Okay, write a query that returns the artist name and the total track count of the top 10 rock bands. Okay, so we need to write a query that returns the artist name. Okay, so artist name we have the artist name in artist table. Okay, we need to return this artist name and total track count of the top 10 rock bands. Okay, so we need to give it a thought now. We need to return the artist name whose type is rock, that is who sings the rock type of music. Okay, who plays the rock type of music. So it is related to these columns. So artist, album, track, and genre comes into the picture. We will be joining artist ID. Okay, these two columns by artist ID, album and track on album ID, and track and genre on genre ID. Okay, so this is what is my first thought, which I'm thinking, which I think should be okay. I'll start writing the code. Okay, so write a query that returns the artist name. Okay, so I will write select artist dot artist name, not artist name, but it is artist ID, I think, right? Okay, artist ID and artist dot artist name from. Now, what I will do is I will take the track table as a center table because it has album ID for this table and genre ID for this table. So I will mark it up as a center table and join all these tables. So just see how do I do it. Uh, I'll I will take these two items from the track and then join the album. Okay, on album has album ID, right? Okay. So what I will do is album dot album ID is equal to track dot album ID. The next join which I want is the artist join, artist on artist dot artist ID, right? Is equal to album dot artist ID. Fine. The next join which I want is genre and track. So join genre, okay, on genre dot genre ID is equal to track dot genre ID. And what I want is after performing these joins, what I want is a rock type of a band, that is where the genre dot name is like rock. We can also use is equal to rock. Okay. Now what I want is, let's read it once again. Write a query that returns the artist name. Okay, we have returned it, and total track count of top 10 rock bands. Okay, so I need to output the name of the artist. Okay, so I will first of all group it by the artist ID. Okay, so group by artist dot artist ID. Okay, once I've done that, now I want the top 10. Okay, so again I will order by the count of the artist dot artist ID. I also need to return it, so let's do it like this. We need to count the artist dot artist ID. Okay, let's alias it as number of songs. Okay, now I will group it by three. Sorry. Okay, so I will group it by three. Why three? That is, this is the first, this is the second, this is the third. So now I want to group it by the count. So I'm writing it as three in the descending order, and I will limit it as 10 as I want the top 10 artists. Okay, let's run it and see what happens. Okay, so I'm not getting the output. Let's see what happened. Okay, guys, so we have got the output. We are turning the artist ID, name, and count. That is number of songs they have sung from the track table. Okay, by taking the track table as center table, we are joining the album table and track table by album ID, artist table and album table by artist ID, genre and track by genre ID, and we are selecting only the rock type of music. Okay, and then we are grouping it by artist ID, and we are just returning the top 10. Right, so it is bit simple. Just we are seeing that I don't know what is this name, Led Zeppelin. He has 114 songs and his artist ID is 22. Right. So in this way we have also completed the second question, second moderate question. Okay, so now let's see the third one. Okay, guys. So let's start with the third moderate question. It says that return all the track names that have a song length longer than the average song length. Okay, so first of all, we will find out the average song length, and we only want to return the track names whose song length is longer than that. Okay, return the name and milliseconds for each track. Okay, so we want to return the song name and the time for it. Okay, order by the song length with the longest song listed first. That is, we need to sort it in descending order. So now this seems to be very very easy one. First of all, let's see the schema. We have time here in track table. Okay, milliseconds is in track table, so we want this for time. Okay, and I don't think we need anything else. So let's directly write the query. So first of all, I want to select the song name, that is name, and the time for it. Okay, so now once I've done this, I need to take it from the track table, where my milliseconds are longer than the average of the song length. Okay, so how can I find the average? Yes, how can I find the average? We can simply do it by selecting the average of the milliseconds. Okay, I will just alias it as average song length. Okay, and I'm taking it from track. Right, so simply I have got the milliseconds which are greater than my average time, average song time, and I'll finally order it by the milliseconds, that is by the song track length, and I want it is descending order. Okay, okay, so let's run it and see what happens. Okay, so I've got the output that occupation persifies, that is these many milliseconds. So we have got it, and also we can see that the average that was there, that is almost, I must say, 393 milliseconds. Okay, 393,000 milliseconds. Okay, and when we see this, we will only get above it. Okay, so if you see the last query here, it will be greater than that, right? So we have achieved our goal, and we have completed our moderate level also. Okay. Okay, guys, now let's jump on to the advanced level. These questions may seem to be quite tricky, but we will be also using some of the advanced concepts like CT, common table expressions, for solving these questions. So let's read the first question of the advanced level. Find how much amount spent by each customer on artist. So we need to find the amount which is spent by each customer on each artist. Okay, so write a query to return the customer name, okay, artist name, and total spent. So customer name we will get from the customer table, artist name we will be getting from the artist table, and total spent we will be getting from the invoice. Right, so we should be very thorough with the table schema now. Artist name we will be getting from artist table, and then customer name from customer table, and invoice from invoice, total from invoice table. So but we need to join these many tables now. So this is somewhat a really advanced question. Okay, so let's try to understand it. Artist id can be joined by this attribute, that is artist id. These two tables can be joined. Then these two tables can be joined by album id. Then these two tables can be joined by track ID, and then these two tables can be joined by invoice ID, and then invoice and customer can be joined on customer ID. Okay, so we need to perform these many joins in order to solve this question. Okay, so let's look at the code. I have already written the code because it would consume too much time then. Okay, so first of all, let's create a common table expression. That is, it is nothing but creating an, we must say, imaginary table which we can use when we are finally returning the answer. Okay, so first of all, we need to find which artist has earned the most according to the invoice lines. Okay, so what we will do is we will first of all select the artist dot artist id. Okay, and id and name from the invoice line. We will also be taking the sum of invoice line. Okay, so what we want is, we got a bit confused here and we were wrong. Okay, so we don't need this total in this question, but it is asking the total invoice, total amount that was spent by each customer. Okay, and this is what the total amount is, that is unit price of each song and the quantity of each song. Okay, so we need to multiply these two in order to generate the total spent of the customer on each artist. Okay, so we don't need this total here. So that is a clarification for it. So the customer spent is quantified by these two parameters, that is unit price quantity, unit price into quantity. Okay, so now once we have done that, we will take the sum of all the unit price into quantity. we will alias is at total sales. Okay, and we are taking it from the invoice line table. So till here I think everything is clear. Okay, and then as we discussed earlier, we will join the track table and invoice line table by track id, album and track table by album id, artist and album by artist id. Okay, and so we will group them by one, that is we will group them by artist id. Okay, the this one is nothing but convention to write that we are grouping it by first thing that we are returning by artist id. Okay, and then what is our question? Write a query to return the customer name, artist name, and total spent. Okay, so what we will take here is we will have the customer who has spent the most on an artist. Okay, so we will order it by the three, that is we will order it by the sum of the spent, that is we will order it by the total sales. Okay, in the descending order, and we will get the top one. Okay, so once we have this city ready, that is common table expression ready, we will move on to the main code, that is we will first of all return the customer id, first name, last name, and the artist name which we have got from this common table expression. Okay, we are taking this common table expression as alias bsa. Okay, we are taking it as bsa. Okay, we will also be returning the sum of invoice that the customer has spent, that is amount spent by the customer, that is unit price into the quantity. Okay, we will take everything from the invoice table. Okay, and then as we discussed earlier, these four five joins. Okay, these four joins are the just the repetition of this. Okay, customer on customer id, right? Invoice line invoice id, track on track id, and album on album id. We need to perform one more join on this table which we have made, that common table expression. We need to perform the join based on the artist id. So we will be joining the it is a best selling artist table on the artist id. Okay, and we will be joining the album table also on the artist id. Okay, so now we will be grouping these by all these parameters. Okay, customer id, first name, last name, and the artist name. Okay, so why we are grouping this? In order to get the name of the customer which we want, customer name, artist name, and total spend. So we will group it by all these attributes, and then sort it according to the amount spent. Okay, so the that too in the descending order. Okay, so we will get the customer who has spent the most on a particular artist. Okay, so in this way we will be solving this. Let me run this and show you what happens. Okay, so we are getting the customer ID, first name, last name, the artist name, and amount spent. Okay, so once we get this, we are good to go. Only for clarification, I have also mentioned the steps to solve, because this sort of questions is very much important when you are appearing for a data science interview, data analyst interview. This may be asked when you are experienced one, but as a fresher, still you must be very good to go with these type of queries. So just a recap for this solution, that is, first we need to find which artist has earned the most according to the invoice lines. Okay, we are calculating it by the unit price into the quantity, right? Now use this artist to find which customer spent the most on this artist, right? So by getting this best selling artist, we will find which customer has spent the most on this artist. So for this query, they will need to use the invoice line, track, customer, album, and album table. Okay, so we'll be joining it, right? We have already done it. So note that this one is tricky because the total spent in the invoice table might not be on a single product, right? The total spent which we got in the invoice table, so this may not be on a particular artist. Okay, this may be on different products also. Okay, so we need to multiply, so we need to use the invoice line table to find out how many of each product was purchased, and then multiply this by the price for each artist. Okay, so I hope you got a bit understanding of this question now. Okay, so again I will tell you that how this code is working. First of all, we will create a common table expression named best selling artist. Okay, we will select the artist id, artist name. Okay, and the sum of the invoice lines, that is sum of the total sales. Okay, by the multiplying the unit price and quantity. Okay, and we are taking it from invoice line table. Okay, then we will perform a couple of joins, and then we will group it by the artist id. Okay, and then we will order it by the total sales, that is we will be displaying it in the descending order, and then we will find the top one. Okay, so this table will be giving me. Okay, so let's run and see what it will be giving. So it will be giving me the artist name with the top sales. Okay, right? And then we will be finally returning the customer ID, first name, last name, and the best selling artist. Okay, and also the total spent, total amount spent by the customer. From this table we will again perform couple of joins. We will join artist ID attribute with the we will join the common table expression with the album table by artist ID attribute, and then we will group all these four and then order by the amount spent in the descending order and finally return it. Okay, so this is the question. So we will be getting by this how much amount is spent by each customer on artist. Okay, and so we have solved in it in this way. Okay, so this is a quite interesting one and not a very hard one. Just we need to understand which joins we need to perform when. Okay, and understanding joins is very much easy when we have the table schema with us. Okay, so in order to join this we just need to find an attribute which is common in both the tables and we can easily join them. Okay. Okay, so this is the question. Okay, so now let's move on to the next question. Now we want to find out the most popular music genre. Okay, we need to find the most popular music genre for each country. Okay, so we already know that country is present in invoice table, right? So country is present in the invoice table and you need to find the most common genre. Okay, most popular genre. Okay, so that is most popular music. It may be rock or it may be something other. Okay, we determine the most popular genre as the genre with the highest amount of purchases. Okay, so genre is recognized by like if it has a high number of purchases, we say that it is the most popular genre. Okay, it is sorted according to that. Okay, write a query that returns each country. Okay, we need to return the billing country. Okay, along with the top genre. Okay, so country and genre will be returned. Okay, for countries where the maximum number of purchases is shared. Okay, so they may be tie also, so we need to return all genres. Okay, so I hope, yeah, that you got some idea that these tables will be useful now: genre, track, invoice line, and invoice. Okay, so we will be again joining by the genre ID and then track ID and then invoice ID. Okay, so let's see the code. Okay, guys, so now let's look at the code. I have already written the code. Again, we will be using the common table expression for it. What we want is we want the most popular genre for each country. Okay. So what will be the steps? We will have the two steps in order to solve this problem. This question is divided into two parts. First, most popular music genre, and second, need data at country level. Right. So first of all, what I will do is I will start creating the common table expression named popular genre. I will be selecting the count of quantity. Okay, so we should not get confused by the earlier question, in which the invoice was unit price into quantity. In this question, we only want the quantity, that is count of quantities. Okay, we only want the count of quantities. Okay, so taking that as purchases, taking the country name ID. Okay, and then I will be using the row number. Now a row number is a thing which is very powerful in SQL. It will give you the row number. Suppose there are multiple entries, it will name them like 1 2 3 4. If there are multiple entries, I can show you that. Definitely I will show you. Just a minute. Okay, so just see, we have Argentina, Argentina, Argentina. We have 1 2 3 4 for that. But what we want is we only want the top music genre, right, for each country. So how can we get that? We can get that by giving a row number to each observation. Like after at the end we can filter them according to the first row number, right? Only the first one which is occurring, we can return that. So for that, row number is used. Okay, and then after writing the row number we will partition it by the country and we will order it by the quantity, right? Count of quantity, right, in the descending order. Right, why descending order? Yes, why descending order? Because we need to return the topmost, that is most popular music genre, right, from invoice line table, and then perform couple of joins. We have discussed how to join tables. First of all, we need to be very thorough with the schema now because we have used that multiple times. Okay, invoice, customer, track, genre, right? Invoice, customer, track, genre. Okay, so these five tables we will be using in this question. So we should be very thorough, like which attribute we have to use in order to join these two tables: customer ID, then invoice ID, then album ID, and then genre ID, right? So once we have done that, we will group them by 2, 3, 4. That is, we will group them by the country name and ID. Okay, and we don't need to return ID, but what why we have written that, because we need to simplify our code when writing group by, right? So 2, 3, 4 we will be returning, and then finally we will be ordering it by the country, right? Why country? Because we want the A to be coming first, right? Alphabetically it will be sorted, right? And then one descending, that is why descending, that is 17 is highest for Argentina, right? So if I show you that multiple entry table, uh, yes, Argentina is 17, 11, 2, 2, 2. So 17 is highest, so we are sorting it according to the descending order by the count of invoice quantity, right? And then finally we are selecting the popular genre table, selecting everything from popular genre table, that is this common table expression where the row number is 1. So this is the main use of row number. We are using it in order to get only the first row for each multiple entries which every country has got, right? So I hope that you got this. This was a comparatively easier one compared to the last question. The only trick being where we have to use the row number function here and then partition it by country. Okay, and when to order by which attribute is very much important in order to write correct SQL queries. Okay, so again I will be just going through this question. Okay, a short recap for you. We have to find the most popular music genre. Okay, for each country, for each respective country, we will find the most popular music genre. Now that may be rock or alternative and punk. Okay, so only these two are there. We determine the most popular genre as a genre with the highest amount of purchases. How would we analyze the purchases? We will be doing the count of quantity, right? So in this common table expression we will be returning the count of that purchases, that is count of the quantity as purchases, the country name and genre ID. Okay, and then using row number I will be partitioning by the country, right? The row number gets by the country name, right? Okay, and then we will order it by the count of quantity in the descending order. Okay, and then perform a couple of joins. This is the common code in almost much of the queries. And then finally we group by these attributes and then order by the country. Okay, because we want them alphabetically sorted. And then one descending, that is count, that is purchases in the descending order, okay, for each country, right? And then finally we will be returning the everything from the popular genre common table expression which we have created, where the row number is 1, right? So this was the query. I hope that you got this. Quite an interesting one and quite an important one for any sort of interview. Okay, right? So we understood how to write a advanced query also. So now let's have a look at the last query which we'll be writing, which is almost similar to the query we wrote now. Okay, so now write a query that determines the customer, okay, that has spent the most on music for each country. Okay, for each respective country we need to find which customer has spent the most on which music. Okay, so we need to write a query that returns the country. Okay, return country along with the top customer. Okay, we will be sorting it in the descending order, and how much they spent. Okay, we'll be sorting it according to the total spend of each customer according to the country. Okay, for countries where the top amount spent is shared. So suppose there are multiple answers for the question, so provide all the customers who spend this amount. Okay, so let's go into the table. What we want is customer, right? And we want the what we want customer that spend the most for each country, right? We need to return the top customer, how much they spend. Okay, and how we can do that? Okay, that's also very much simple. Okay, using common table expression. Okay, we will divide the question in two parts. It is similar to the above question. First, we need to find the most spent on music for each country. Okay, for each country, which customer has spent the most. Okay, and then finally, we will be filtering it with respect to the customers. Okay, so again, the idea must be clicked that we should be using row number here. Okay, uh, again, going through the code, it is also similar type of code what we have written earlier. with the common table expression name customer with country. Okay, I will select the customer ID, first name, last name, country, sum. Okay, we have done this all. Sum of total. Okay, so this is something different which is there in this question. We have taken here count of quantities because we are demanded purchases, but we need the total spent. Okay, now that is in the invoice table, right? Invoice table as total column. Okay, so we will take the sum of that as total spending. Again, we will be using the row number function. We will partition by the billing country, and we will be ordering it by the sum. Okay, in the descending order, right? So we will be ordering by the total spending in the descending order. Okay, from the invoice table, we will join the customer table with the invoice table, and then group it by ID, first name, last name, and country. Okay, and then order it by the 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I will order it by the country in the ascending order, because what I want is the country name should be alphabetically sorted. Okay, and then the total spending will be sorted in the descending order. Okay, because I want the topmost customer. Okay, okay, I got it right. The customer who has spent the most on music for each country. So for each country I am getting the customer who has spent the most. Now in order to handle the multiple entries, we will finally filter our data from the common table expression. We will select everything from that customer with country table, where row number is less than or equal to 1. We can also write equal to 1, so that is also same, because row number starts from 1, so we don't need to worry less than 1. Okay, okay, so this is the question. This was not that tricky if you understood the concept of row number and how to partition it according to the any column attribute. Okay, how to partition the table. Okay, so this is it. Once again, if I recap, we just need to break down the question into sub problems. Okay, so what is the sub problem first here? First, we need to find the most spent on music for each country. Okay, and then second, we will filter the data for the respective customers according to the based on the billing country. We are partitioning by billing country. Okay, so in this way, we will be using the common table expression and the power of SQL. Okay, a very powerful tool, I must say, in order to perform any sort of data analysis. Okay, so thank you everyone. So that was it for the video. I hope that you enjoyed and learned a lot. Start practicing at least one SQL or one or two SQL queries every day. I'm talking about advanced SQL queries, so that you can land your dream job in any data analysis or even data science company. In order to become data scientist, also you need to be very thorough with SQL concepts and writing SQL queries. Okay. Also, if you know any more optimized ways which I use, if you know more optimized ways, comment down. Also, after completing this project, please ping me comment, so that the content can be reached to more public. Okay, so that's all for this video. In the next video, we will be again coming up with any business problem, business case study, which we will be solving with the help of data visualization and data analysis using SQL and Python. Also, for any data science or machine learning doubts, you can subscribe to the channel so that you get the notification when the video is uploaded. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining. That's it for the video. Thank you.